get another browser up. And Facebook is ready to go live right now. There we go. Rumble's up live. YouTube's up live. X, what's up, viewers? You're live with us. Be live for you at 6 after. Hang in there. Lee the Gunwriter Williams joining us today. Let's make sure Boxcast has got us rolling. We're live. You want to give the live cues to what platforms we're on, or you want me to do that?
We can split it. You can do video. I'll do the chat.
All right, let's do that.
Because you know all the video spots.
Yeah, if something's off, I'll know it. So,
yep.
Guys, you're getting some sausage. Welcome to the program today, Greg and I.
Are we not
today
on the website?
Yeah, we are. We're everywhere.
Okay, so I can give the website in the chat if you want to do the live stream.
Yep, you go ahead and give what you were before, and I'll give the live stream videos on the other platforms on social media.
That'll work. Because you created all those accounts, you know all the account names, all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll be adding a couple more in the near future, but
there you go. I wonder. I think Telegram has a live stream option.
They might. If they do, I'll get the RMTP in there. They can watch it in their live stream chat.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm guessing Lee's calling in right now. Guest calls in, Greg goes silent. Now, for those of you who like to watch and don't know where the show is emanating from, this is of course, a live national radio broadcast being heard, The Daily Show, on about 60-plus stations, I believe, across the country. And it comes from the Salem Radio Network down in Dallas, where Greg is located at the mothership.
Leon Holt.
He's in a beautiful studio down there in Dallas.
Beautifully cold studio.
Beautifully cold. Our feed goes into him. We have an unusual setup. Those of you who live stream on some platforms, our setup is completely different. It's why it's a little bit of a challenge, because we have a box here at the studio that feeds into the network, and then that audio has to be switched from digital back to analog, so that you can get it's the mix minus, Greg, right? So they get the guest feed in there as well. So the mics are not coming from my studio. You're getting the actual audio feed coming from the network that I'm hearing in my headphones. And you guys, because you're plugged into that, actually get the feed from the network. That's why you can hear Greg. And if we couldn't hear Greg, you couldn't hear guests. It'd be kind of a silly broadcast if all they could hear was me and not a guest.
Yeah, I was just going to say, typically with a lot of podcasts and online streaming, there's no network in between, so
Correct.
All you get is the studio that they're sitting in.
That's correct. Or the guest call in on a phone on a board, and when we drop the Armed American, well, it's not going to be Armed American Radio, but when we drop Unhinged and Unholstered, there will be no network in between. So we won't have that audio configuration to worry about. And that can be, believe me, that's challenging, because a lot of production software doesn't like that mix minus and that network in the middle, so it can mess with the sound. So we've had issues with it over the years, but we're close to perfecting it. So thanks for sticking in there with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that takes a little while just to work out all the kinks.
Well, input levels and everything else, because you're raising levels down there at the network for the radio stations, and that can mess with my levels here.
30. Yep.
And I have separate input here that go in that Greg can tell me to turn myself up or down, and it becomes a nightmare. And then we got the feed coming back. So we got that network in between, but it's not that simple. But it works now, so we're good.
So what's that, 2 weeks away?
What's that?
The podcast?
I'm thinking it's dropping on the 3rd. We might have to put it off a couple weeks, but I'll make that announcement when I know for sure. That'll be pre-taped.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to. That's why I do it.
Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the SIG Sauer Studios. On the Patriot Mobile Platinum microphone. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 2A Tuesday, Greg in Dallas, Texas. Welcome into the SIG Sauer Studios, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom every single day here in the SIG Sauer Studios. Today we're in front of the Patriot Mobile Communication Command Center microphone that I just bumped into. And this is a Patriot Mobile phone. You can have one, too. Make sure to check them out, patriotmobile.com/AAR. And it's all being brought to you, of course, by the great X Insurance. X Insurance. Greg in Dallas, Texas, how you doing, brother?
Not too bad. Freezing. Actually preparing for below freezing temperatures tonight. We're sending that your way.
Is that coming my way, really?
Yeah, it's going to head your way eventually. We got next couple days. We are prepared for ice and a little rain and good stuff.
I did see, this is rare around here, we did get a little dust of snow a few weeks back, but I understand, I generally don't watch the weather goobers. You know, I just don't. I just call them weather goobers.
The weather guessers.
Around here, they're wrong constantly. They cannot predict their way out of a bag. I kind of feel sorry for them, in a way, because it's challenging here. The Atlanta area sits right atop that dividing line where the fronts come in. And
you get the Atlantic front, you get the Gulf fronts.
They just can't tell, from a weather standpoint until it's last second. I kind of feel bad for them. But nonetheless, they were talking about some possible snow and ice here, so I guess that is coming. Because we tend to get what you get. It comes up through Alabama and the
couple days later.
A couple days later, yeah, so that's an indication. So anyway, if you guys are in the upper mid-Atlantic states, Kentucky, Lexington, you're tuned in. I believe Louisville's tuned in. West Virginia, Dayton, Ohio, in that area. You guys got some nasty weather up that way, and man, I got to tell you, Greg, I feel so bad for the folks in Kentucky. And you're not seeing it make a lot of national news, but over 12 people have been killed there in those floods. And you're not seeing a lot of it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much of it at all on the internet.
It's really bad. I know some folks that live up there, and it's really tough. But we are working on a Bud's Gun Shop, another live show from Bud's Gun Shop. But I believe this time around, Greg, we're going to be in Sevierville, Tennessee for that show.
All right.
And the Buds group will be joining us on the phone, but we'll be set up at their other location in Sevierville, Tennessee. I'll keep you posted on that. That is in discussion right now. We're also working on the possibility of getting up to SIG in the not too distant future. We'll broadcast a daily show. We've been up at the SIG Sauer Academy a couple times. We'll look forward to that. Let's see. What have we got going here? Why don't you tell people where to watch the program on at least one output and participate in the chat? I'll give the rest of the platforms it's on, then we'll go to our guest.
Sure, if you want to watch the show on Mark's website, you can head on over to armedamericanradio.org or .com. On the right-hand side of that website, you're going to see the menu icons. Just give that a click, and so when that window opens up, you can select that Watch Live option. If you're driving, hit that Listen Live link, and if you missed any previous episode of this program, head on over to the podcast link. If you'd like to join our live chat, all you have to do is head on over to your app store, grab the Telegram messaging app, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Yeah, thanks for that. You can do that. You can also watch us live on Facebook.com. Facebook at Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. You can watch us live on YouTube right now, Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. You can watch us on Rumble Live, and same name, of course, and you can watch us on X right now. We got a lot of response on X, especially on the Big Sunday Monster Show. So thanks for that. Let's go to the phones. Let's go right to Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, down in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. Lee, are you guys looking at ice and rain in the next few days?
Yeah, we really are. It's going to be about 77 today. So,
hey, Greg. Lee sucks.
Yeah, he does suck. He told me that on hold. I was like, man.
So I leave you to come up here, you know? Okay, whatever. And by the way, I kind of had to chuckle as Greg was giving his spiel. I said I feel sorry for the weather people. I don't. I can hear my wife saying to me right now, no, you don't, because I'm always yelling at them because they're so terrible. I don't feel sorry for them whatsoever. Get a new line of work if you can't predict it, you know?
We could AI their job.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably nowadays, right? Although AI can't be trusted. And let's just move on from that. Lee the Gunwriter Williams, how you doing, my brother? All
I
good?
couldn't be better. It's been a lot of work, but we're good.
So a lot of work. You know, when I have you on the show, it's always a lot of fun. You and I've known each other a lot of years. We've done this show together live down at in Sarasota. You know, that kind of fun stuff. And I do want to point out, too, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been told the daily show is not up on my website right now. That's only the Sunday show. We'll fix that. So you can watch it on all the other platforms until it's really not broken. It's just set up to run the Sunday shows now because we're on other platforms. But we'll have that player working for you. But, yeah, Lee, we've broadcasted down there from the Sarasota Herald Tribune offices before. It's always fun to talk with you because you're so plugged in with this stuff. So, you know, I was a guest on 97.1 FM this morning with Mark Cox in the morning and Kim St. Odge. They're great. We were talking about that Foyd card case in Illinois in some great detail. But, you know, it's interesting because every time I'm a guest on the show, with very few exceptions, today was one of them, always referencing your work up there at 97.1, Mark Cox in the group. They are always referencing your work at Armed American News, which is where they pick you up. So what are you working on now? Let's just give it open to you. What are you on? Because I know you dropped something new today.
Yeah, this is the third story about that sailor, Patrick Tate Adamiak. And we're just going through it and through some of the stuff that he got charged with. He had 5 open bolt semi-autos. Now, for a lot of people who don't know open bolt semi-autos,
yeah, please explain.
Think early 80s. They were known to be, you know, they had the Tech 9, and then RPB made a Mac 10 type in 389 and 45. They're semi-automatic handguns or sometimes carbines, but they fired from an open bolt. Nowadays, they're worth a lot of money because everything's closed bolt. Nowadays, they're worth $3,000 to $5,000 a piece. And Tate had a bunch of them. He had 5 of them that he'd taken him 10 years to go buy. They were pre-banned, open bolt, semi-automatic pistols. He went and bought them and put them in his safe. Never even shot them because they were, I mean, they're worth that much money. And when the ATF hit his home, the lengths that this ATF guy named Bodel, ATF Firearms Enforcement Officer Jeffrey Bodel, took, I mean, he couldn't get any one of them to fire fully automatic. Okay, every single one of them was firing semi, but he called them all machine guns. So there's 5 machine gun charges.
All right.
Can you believe that, bro?
Well, normally I would say no, but over the last 4 years, I can believe it because you've got a weaponized agency. And what I want to know is, how do the ATF get away with blatant, outright lies in courtrooms across the country? Because they are not full auto. He admitted when he test fired them that they fired in semi-auto. Now, was it just based on the fact that, they could be modified, even though they weren't modified, and because they weren't modified, they were legal to buy? Did he go on that open-ended, they could be? Because I could tell you a lot of things I could do to make my car not street legal. I could tell you lots of things I could do with my guns not to make them legal. So does that make everything I own not legal because things can be modified? I mean, what's the rationale here?
You know, quite frankly, the rationale is they wanted him and they got him. That's it.
Okay, but the bigger picture, Lee, the bigger picture, I have to stop you here. Why did they want him in the first place? What sparked all of this?
I think it was just the Biden-Harris administration. It was in power. It was getting close to them being out, and Bodel knew he could get this kid. Not one thing, and they have like 50 exhibits that they took from his home. Not one of them, brother, have I found to be illegal. But if you read this guy's report, the ATF agent's report, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna read you some of it. I mean, he's saying that these pistols are machine guns as defined, even though not one of them could shoot more than one round per pull of the trigger. That makes no sense. I mean, these guns are for sale on all the gun websites. They're highly sought after because there aren't very many of them. But yet, Adamiak went down for him hard. I just don't get it.
Well,
I don't get the fact that there's nobody watching out for this kid.
Yeah, it's strange. And he's 18. He's 2 years into a 20-year sentence. He's got 18 years left. And we're getting ready to take a break. So what I'll ask you when we come back is if there's any hope for this kid. I don't want to have to stop you now. You'll hear the music in just a second. But when we come back, I want to ask that question because 20 years is a long time to do in the slammer. How old is he?
He's 28 right now.
Oh, good heavens. He'll be 48 by the time he gets out. Well, he'll be 46. He's already 2 years in. But regardless, my God, when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. I've got a couple more questions about this for you. Then we'll move on to some other things that are happening out there. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues. Right now we're talking with Lee, the gun writer Williams. Lee will be back with us right after the break. We'll see you on the flip side. Don't go away. Guys, I want to apologize. I forgot about the Armed American Radio webpage. It's set up for Sundays now. But we've reached out to the crew that manages that feed stream to re-add Daily Defense in there. So when that happens, you'll probably know before me, quite frankly. Because they are not real good at getting back to me. Mike's
The
live.
following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome back to the show indeed. Mark Walters in the SIG SAUER studios, filling your prescription for freedom today and every day here in front of this Patriot Mobile Command Center microphone. It's all being brought to you by X Insurance. Make sure to check out all of our partners, please, at armedamericanradio.com, armedamericanradio.com. They make it all possible. We are 16 years in on April 26th. Remarkable run. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have some pretty big news about the show coming up in April. I'll keep you posted on that, but it's big. And if that does, in fact, happen, you will be the first to know, listeners, because you made it happen. All right, Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, welcome back. So let's go back to this kid sitting in jail right now. You were saying, nobody's looking out for him. My question is, does this kid stand any chance under a Trump administration? Do we know if anybody in the administration is watching this travesty of justice as it's unfolding? Does he have any chance of getting out? This is ridiculous. There should be huge public outcry here, but these aren't cases that tend to make national news.
There's some outcry here. I mean, the last story I did and the first story I did, this is the third, together have about 750,000 views just on my Twitter. And a lot of guys have been replaying it and playing it and rewriting it. But I think if we can get somebody interested, he could get a pardon. Now, he didn't do anything wrong. Taking a pardon shouldn't even be an issue, but it's the quickest way to get him out of prison, where he's serving 18 more years, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid was on the track to be a SEAL. He was a Navy cop. He was squared away. This should not happen, brother. This is wrong.
Tell us again where he is.
He's in a federal joint somewhere in New Jersey.
So we're not going to get any help locally from the governor up there at all, who's not going to talk about it, bring it to the administration's attention, because he's a gun-grabbing freak idiot, Murphy. Oh, I feel terrible for this kid, but I know you're bringing a lot of attention to it, and you're right. You had 750,000 plus; it'll top 1 million soon, and just keep writing about it. Hopefully, this gets on the administration's radar somehow. And as far as a full pardon goes, that's what he's going to require. I don't want to see a commutation of his sentence. I want to see the kid get a full, complete pardon. Like Hunter Biden did.
Yeah.
For not doing anything wrong, supposedly. I mean, let's all fall for that nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree that he needs to be out and he needs to be able to take care of himself. He's a young man who, he's going to come out of there. He's out of the military now. The interesting thing is that the Navy never took any action against him. They never reduced him in rank like they would if you commit a crime when you're in the service. They just let all of his time run out, and then he was discharged from the Navy as an E6.
So basically, right now, he's just flat out screwed.
Yeah, I mean, they really got him.
You've talked to him behind bars.
Yeah, I can talk to him.
How does he sound to you?
He sounds like he tries to play up that he's doing okay, but it's sad, bro.
He's in the slammer, man. How can you be doing okay? He's in the slammer.
I was thinking about it the other night when I was watching some TV. What's he doing? What's he eating? Who's he talking to? It's just not well. It's not good, bro.
And it's all false, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a hallucination. In other words, it's a lie. It's all fake. It's all made up.
100%.
And the lies in court. It is remarkable that judges don't call this out. It really, truly is. All right, so let's move to assault weapons ban, because now, and I'm on the board of directors here at the CCR-KBA, but you have a story up about it. It's titled CCR-KBA, which, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who might not be in the know, that is the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms, a sister organization to the Second Amendment Foundation, created by Alan Gottlieb, founder of the SAF. CCR-KBA rips proposed Rhode Island assault weapon ban, urges rejection. Now, this, again, we've been talking about Trump's in office, my guns are safe. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're just not at all. They're just moving it to the state. And here again, we see what's going on in Colorado. We see what's always going on in Washington. We see what's always going on behind that blue wall. And now Rhode Island, what's going on here?
Their bill, H5436, targets virtually every semi-automatic rifle. Doesn't matter the caliber. It includes 22s that can take a detachable magazine. I'm sorry, 22s are covered. They'd be exempt from the ban. But pretty much everything else, if it can take a detachable magazine, it would be covered by this bill.
So
And
this is very similar to Colorado's.
Yeah. I wonder where they got the idea, bro.
They likely talk to each other. Let me quote from Alan Gottlieb. The authors of this legislation seem intent on banning every semi-automatic rifle possible, plus several models of semi-automatic shotguns and various popular pistols. We've seen similar legislation in other states, all appearing to follow the same general formula, and they all amount to egregious efforts to erode the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens without any reference to arresting and prosecuting armed criminals. And Allen continued, it is distressing to hear state officials argue for bans on firearms based on their appearance or their ability to accept certain accessories. Likewise, for the supporters of this bill to claim it somehow is aimed at gun safety is ludicrous. They seem to equate criminalizing firearms with gun safety, which strains common sense and will likely not prevent a single violent crime. And again, I want to continue with Gottlieb. When Rhode Island Attorney General Peter Nerona declares in a prepared statement there is no need for a private citizen to own a certain type of firearm, one has to wonder who put him in charge of determining someone else's needs. Besides, the Second Amendment is not about anyone's needs. It's about rights. It is actually the cornerstone of the Bill of Rights. We're encouraging Rhode Island gun owners and grassroots activists to vigorously oppose H5436. They should immediately contact their local representatives and ask for a no vote and send a message to the General Assembly that banning whole classes of firearms is not the way to reduce violent crime or tragedy resulting from negligence. Now, yesterday on the program, you were not here, but we were talking about Bangkok, Thailand. Thailand is now moving for a one-year moratorium on banning concealed carry licensing and so forth, admitting that it's so hard to get a license in Thailand that it's not going to impact crime at all because law-abiding people don't break the law, Lee. Now, we got to go to Thailand to get this logic? Okay, so maybe the Attorney General of Rhode Island, Nerona, might want to take a trip to Bangkok, right? Although I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm going to leave that one alone. But Nerona might want to at least read a little bit about what they're talking about in Bangkok, Thailand, admitting that what they want to do, much like when we saw with Grisham in New Mexico last year, trying to ban concealed carry inside the confines and borders of the city of Albuquerque, when she flat out admitted to the press under pressure questioning from media that actually was taking our side on that because the outcry was so huge that, yeah, she admits it won't stop crime, but, guns, right? But, guns. It's pretty much that simple. We'll be back. 2 more segments with Lee the Gunwriter Williams. Don't go away.
Daniel Defense firearms are guaranteed for life, trusted worldwide, and designed, engineered, and manufactured right here in America. Daniel Defense, freedom, passion, precision.
Yeah, Daniel Defense, freedom, passion, and precision. That is a fact. SIG Sauer Studios lit up for you. Mark Walters in front of the Patriot Mobile Command Center microphone. X Insurance bringing it all to you. Please go out of your way to visit all of our partners. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com. Let's not forget Heaven's Harvest for the emergency food supplies. You should have those. And it's inexpensive. You don't need to go full prepper here. Just pick up one of the 3-day kits. $79 if you want to get a 30-day supply of entrees. They're great. Various entrees. It's like $140 or something like that. HeavensHarvest.com has you covered. Make sure to check them out. Clean your guns with Barrel Buddies. Barrel Buddies, it's barrelbuddy.com. But pitch the patch. Get rid of it. It's yesterday's news. There's a better way to clean your guns, and you can swipe them through 2 times right at the range before you put it back in your holster or back in your bag. It's really that simple. You can also pick those up at the SIG Academy. Yeah. How good are that? How good are that? You can get them at the SIG Academy. They good. Barrelbuddy.com. Barrelbuddy.com. And don't forget to check out also the Emerson knives. Boom. There's one right there. Use it every single day out here in the studio. And I've got a bunch of them. They're beautiful knives. And it's emersonKnives.com. Use the promo code AAR and take 10% off. And don't forget, budsgunshop.com. If you're watching, I got a cool Buds Gun Shop shirt on. Got a bunch of those. Black ones, blue ones, white ones, gray ones, and red ones. budsgunshop.com. budsgunshop.com. They have everything you need, and you need everything and want everything that they have. Lee the Gunwriter Williams, welcome back, brother.
Good to be here.
All right, so let's see here. We do have some breaking news here. A federal judge blocked Democrats' efforts to block the Doge attempts. So Trump is just on a roll right now, man.
Oh, my God.
Have you ever...
That's fantastic.
The exposure coming, I guarantee you there's people losing sleep over this. I guarantee the Democrats are losing sleep over this. They are being exposed by the minute. Decades and decades of corruption coming to the surface, ladies and gentlemen, and it is going to be remarkable fun to watch. I'd like to get your comments on that.
Well, you know, you see these people get elected to office. They're making $174,000 a year.
Yeah.
They have no other visible means of support. The next thing you know, they've been in there 10 years. They have $25 million in the bank. Who the hell is giving them that money?
You.
Yeah,
you
us,
are.
All of us.
You know, Social Security was just exposed with over 390 million participants supposedly getting checks. There are 330 million Americans, and some of them are over 120 years old.
I love the fact that there's 3 million 150-year-olds getting money from Social Security.
Yeah, that guy was born 10 years after the Civil War, and he's still collecting his Social Security, right, and his Civil War pension, right? You know, he's probably getting a Civil War pension as well. He wasn't alive for that either. It's remarkable, the fraud. And, you know, it's got me to a point where I'm pissed, man. I don't want to pay my taxes anymore.
You know, I saw so much traffic online about guys saying the same damn thing.
Sick of
Why
it.
are we paying taxes? Yeah.
They ought to be
I mean,
refunding billions of dollars back to taxpayers after this is what ought to happen, and somebody needs to be held accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your money. Ooh, yeah. You think Bob Menendez is the only Democrat with gold bars tucked in his walls, okay? And stacks and wads of $100 bills and $10,000 stacks? You think he's alone? He's not alone. He just was the fall guy because he's not a likable guy. I mean, even the Democrats didn't like the guy. So he was the fall guy. Yeah, get rid of him and they'll take the heat off of us. Yeah, I don't think so. And you've got Barack Obama, even that hideous robot Al Gore, and Bill Clinton and Joe Biden all on video saying the same things that Donald Trump is actually doing over the years, and yet they're screaming about Elon Musk. It is just, we are living in crazy, wild times. It is. So here on some other gun news, GOP lawmakers introduce a bill now, and this is great news, Lee. I don't know how this is going to turn out. We've been looking at this state for a long time, but to try to make North Carolina the 30th constitutional carry state.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that now North Carolina, let's take a look at what AWR has to say about this. We're going to miss him on the show this weekend. He's going to be at the Iowa show in Germany along with Gottlieb and a bunch of others. But Republican lawmakers have introduced legislation to make North Carolina the 30th constitutional carry state in the union. There are two bills. The Daily Tar Heel is reporting this, that both bills, HB 5 and SB 50, would allow U.S. citizens with no felonies and no mental illness-related charges over the age of 18 to conceal carry a weapon. Now, that's the operative word there, 18, or number. Why? Because I think SAF has filed 7 cases, and SAF, I say we because I'm a longtime and a life member of SAF. You can be too, ladies and gentlemen, SAF.org. But Alan was on the program this past weekly talking about how the Second Amendment Foundation just filed suit in Massachusetts because they bar 18 to 20-year-olds. Now, this is the 7th case of its kind. It looks like North Carolina's got the message, if you're 18 to 20 years old, ladies and gentlemen, there is a huge movement afoot on your behalf to keep you from being stripped of your Second Amendment rights. And it also, Lee, contains language that would, quote, allow elected officials to conceal carry weapons in legislative buildings and offices in Raleigh.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that it only pertains to legislative officials. I don't believe they should have any special rights. If they can carry a firearm inside a courthouse or wherever, the public should be able to too.
Well, look, I understand the emotion in a courtroom. Okay, I get that. But if I'm going to walk in, they ought to have a place for me to put my firearm if they're going to disarm me. Before I go into a court. And a lot of court cases are very emotionally charged. You got people hopping over benches at judges. I mean, I see that. But if you're going to disarm me, give me a place to put my firearm before I go into the courtroom. What's interesting about this North Carolina case, and this is why there's some hope here, because one of the, at least it's being reported, one North Carolina state senator who opposed constitutional carry during last year's 2023-2024 legislative session is now a sponsor on the carry legislation now.
Okay.
Yeah. See, South Carolina became 29 states last year on March 7th, if you recall. And that was just 2 days after Governor Jeff Landry, Republican out of Louisiana, signed legislation making Louisiana the 20th constitutional carry state. So that would put them in line with, in alphabetical order, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a liberal, that means we're going to start at A, and we're going to go through the alphabet. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wyoming. So there's legs in North Carolina. We'll have to see how this works out, Lee. Because if you would have asked me this last summer, I probably would have told you, and I think I did guess, that North Carolina would likely be the next one to propose it. But I would have said it might not have moved. What are your thoughts? You think this will actually move in North Carolina? Has it got legs?
Yeah, I think it will. I know they have a hell of a lot of military there, and I know the military is, to a man and woman, 100% behind the right to carry. I mean, when they're working, look at what they're carrying. They want to carry off duty too, as they should. So yeah, I think it'll go through.
Well, I hope you're right about that. Let's talk Florida open carry now. How is that progressing? Greg, do I have enough time? How much time do I have, Greg? 40 seconds. Lee, let me set it up, and we'll come back to this on the break. It's a great segue because it appears that DeSantis is pushing a Second Amendment summer. He has already publicly said that if you put an open carry bill on my desk, I will sign it. DeSantis has a pretty good way and a pretty good track record of influencing Florida legislators down there. So when we come back, Lee, the gunwriter Williams, of course, is in Sarasota, Florida. He's very plugged in to Florida politics. So we'll see what he has to say about that. Is there movement on Florida to become open carry? Florida is already permitless carry because DeSantis has already signed it, but they really need to take that extra step and bring them in line with the other 48 states that allow some form, if not all forms, of open carry legislation. When we come back, Lee the Gunwriter Williams continues for one more segment on a Tuesday, pre-garbage day at the ranch. Don't go away.
This segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Daniel Defense. Visit DanielDefense.com. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, back to the show indeed. Mark Walters sitting here in the 6 Sauer studios with you, right in front of the Patriot Mobile Command Center microphone, all being brought to you by the great X Insurance. Again, please go out of your way to support all of our partners. MyPillow has got some great deals going on over there, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever you see a television spot, and I didn't realize they had some of the prices going that they were, but prices have dropped radically. And I know the people over there well. I've worked with them for many, many years. Mike's not joshing you when he says there's limited supplies of certain things. Get them while they're available at those prices. But the MyPillow standard pillows are still $14.88. I think the queens and kings might have gone up a little bit from the $18 and $19. But get those regular pillows. Just get 2 of those, and you're still going to get a better deal than you will if you get the bigger ones. But regardless, great deals going on over there. The flannel sheets are awesome. Believe we have them at the house. They're great. We've ordered some. So make sure to check them out. Use the promo code AAR. Just visit mypillow.com/AAR. And don't forget the pain relief stuff. I use it every single day. Every single day. I know Dana Lash, and she does the whole beat thing. I just have never been able to do that. That stuff's never worked for me. But the stuff that they have over at Patriots Relief does. I put it on my elbows every single day when I wake up in my shoulders. And it doesn't stink and reek. Like that Ben Gay stuff or whatever you put on, or that heavy mentholated stuff. It's got a little bit of it, but it's actually pleasant, and it's not overbearing at all. And it takes the pain away within 60 seconds. I put it on once in the morning, and it's done for the day. I used to get up, Greg, and eat 4 ibuprofens in the morning for breakfast. No more. And while you can do that, it's not real good for you. This stuff works. PatriotsRelief.com. All of their products work. I slept like a rock on them again last night. So make sure to check them out. PatriotsRelief.com. Use the promo code AAR and get 40% off. Don't forget all of our partners. You can find them all at ArmedAmericanRadio.com. Leave the Gunwriter Williams. Welcome back. We have one more segment with you. Let's rock on to Florida and the open carry gig going on over there. Has there been any movement on that? Is the Florida legislature going to move? Is DeSantis putting any more pressure on it? Is it going to be a tax-free summer for a couple months, or was it all just lip service and nothing's going to happen?
No, and yes.
Okay, well, that answered my question. I wasn't expecting that answer, to be honest with you.
Oh, I wish I had better news. I mean, right now, they had the anniversary of the shooting at Parkland was 4 days ago. Everything is still Parkland related, but don't forget what Parkland gave us. I mean, it gave us red flag laws.
Yeah.
It banned anybody under 21 from buying a rifle. Those are 2 things we need to get rid of immediately, and then hopefully we can get open carry. I can't believe I'm talking to you from Florida.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
And we don't have open carry. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But I don't see it coming this year. Everybody else is busy, and oh my gosh. And now they're talking about artificial intelligence and gun surveillance, and Miller files a bill to limit the use of that. So that's how they're going to go off on guns for right now. Meanwhile, everybody that is tuned in wants open carry. But, we're going to limit computers and access to guns. Who cares? Do what you were elected to do, and we won't have any issues.
What's the makeup? It's supermajority in both houses in Florida? Yeah,
it is.
This should be a no-brainer to move. A no-brainer to move. And I'm a little bit surprised that DeSantis, I'm not going to put it out of there. I don't know the answer to this yet. You said no, and yes. However, DeSantis carries a pretty big stick in Florida. He's termed, he may very well be able to move this. There might be some negotiation, but something that you brought up that I had not thought about, you're right. The anniversary of Parkland, 7th year anniversary, was just 4 days ago. The anti-gunners will jump all over that, so might have to wait possibly to next session. I don't know. But good heavens, Florida really needs to get it together there. Let's talk about you want to talk about a happy ending story real quick?
Yeah, need one.
Yeah, well, I love these. And again, I'm going to cover some of AWR's work because he's not going to be here this weekend. And this was in Kentucky. Oh, speaking of Kentucky, did you see that KFC is moving their headquarters to Texas, Greg? Kentucky Fried Chicken is moving their headquarters to Texas. Okay, you got Church's Chicken in Texas. Church's Chicken is the best. The best. Only problem with it around here, I got to go to the hood to get it. And I do from time to time, but Church's isn't the best. No offense to all you KFC lovers, but I don't eat that stuff often, but when I do, if I can get it, it's Church's fried chicken. It's good stuff. But this happened in Kentucky. A juvenile retrieved a handgun and shot 2 alleged armed intruders dead. And this happened in Manchester, Kentucky. So, wow, you got to keep your guns locked up, right, from your kids who might know how to use them because they've grown up with guns. Lee, this was Fox 56 reporting this. The incident occurred shortly before 4:30 a.m. after the 2 suspects allegedly forced their way into the home. State police believe the deceased, I love this. The deceased individual, I do, 51-year-old Jeffrey Allen and 44-year-old Roger Smith. Now, I'm not going to give you the drops that AWR would give you. It warms his heart, and, it's more pancakes available at Waffle House, and they're not coming home for dinner and all that stuff. I'll leave that for AWR, but I guess I just gave you some. But when you're 51 and 44, aren't you old enough to know better than to kick somebody's door in, especially in Kentucky?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. You're in Kentucky. Go somewhere and drink some bourbon. Get it out of your system, right? Just decide
100%.
not to do it. Go get drunk so you can't drive because it would be illegal to drive drunk to go break into a home. Yeah, okay. I doubt people who are willing to break into homes care about driving drunk. But they entered the home with the intent to steal guns out of a safe. Now, the kid has not been identified, juvenile. That means under 18, who was home at the time, shot both men, then escaped through a bedroom window. Allen died at the scene. Smith died after being transported to a hospital. And cops in Kentucky, juveniles' actions are self-defense. Lee, this is a happy ending story. And for all of you out there, I am not celebrating the death of these 2 men. I am celebrating the fact that the kid is alive, that his family is alive, and that the armed intruders did not harm anyone because they were confronted by a lawfully armed citizen. And guess what, Lee? The juvenile was lawfully armed at the time. However, he probably isn't able to possess a gun lawfully outside his home because he's not 18. And in many states, even if he were 18 to 20, he couldn't. So what's unhappy about this story? You got 20 seconds.
Nothing is unhappy about this story whatsoever. I'm glad the kid's alive. I'm glad the bad guys aren't. And I'm sorry, at my age, at our age, that's the way you got to be.
Yeah, and you know what I love about this? He took both of them on, killed them both, then fled. He didn't flee first. He ended their existence and then fled. That Kentucky, you are 2 dead scumbags safer because of the actions of a quote-unquote juvenile. Congratulations to that kid. I'm sure it was traumatic as all get out. Well, probably more traumatic for the other 2. I don't know. They're dead at the hands of a juvenile who saved himself and others. Good for him. God bless that kid. That's a happy ending story. Lee, real quick, where can people find you? Go for it real fast.
They can go to sf.org. Go to our Substack, thegunwriter.substack.com, or armedamericannews.org.
And that's where you'll find Lee the Gunwriter Williams. Lee, we love you, man. Thanks for everything you do. Great to talk with you on the air every Tuesday. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is going to get up and do it again tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, precisely because they don't want us to. Enjoy your day. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the radio.
You've just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by X Insurance. X Insurance on the Armed American Radio Network.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it very much. Those of you who like to watch the program over at armedamericanradio.com, the Daily Show, it hasn't been pulled off. There's no problems with the streams. It's just that it's set up months in advance, those individual days. And when I did some checking on it, when some of you told me that it was not available, I looked in it and I saw that the Sunday show is set up for the remainder of the year, but the Daily Show is not. So we've asked the production crew over there to see if they can go ahead and put those in. Believe it or not, I don't have access to that. And quite frankly, I don't want to have access to that. I got enough on my plate. But nonetheless, I don't do that web work. They do. And we've asked them to fix that. Otherwise, again, you can watch us on X. Thanks for tuning in on X. We got a great stream over there. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube. Thanks for watching us on Rumble. Thanks for checking us out on Facebook. And it won't be long. No matter which one of those you choose to participate in a chat on, it will all be visible to everybody on one particular screen. I'll explain that when it happens, probably a couple weeks out. But thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate you being here. Please support all of our partners. You can find them at armedamericanradio.com. Love each and every one of you. Carry on, carry often, carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would have ever left his cave without his club. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow, guys.